How is this really spring? South of Lake Mojave along the Colorado River is Bullhead City, Arizona. Just across the Colorado River is Laughlin, Nevada, known to be a mini Las Vegas. What else is in Bullhead City? Not what, but who? You guessed it, more family. Pictures with us here is one of my amazing aunts and her daughter, yet another amazing cousin of mine. This time, they're on my mom's side of the family, or as Gus from My Big Fat Greek Wedding would say, Xeno, which means outsiders. As funny as that word is in the movie, it couldn't be further from the truth. No outsiders here, just more of my mega family with nothing but laughter and love. We ate dinner at the Bighorn Cafe in the Laughlin River Lodge Hotel and Casino. The food was great, and the company was even greater. The only one missing is my uncle. But with COVID still about and him having pre-existing conditions, it just wasn't worth the risk. The next morning, as we left Bullhead City, we were on a slow, steep climb on Highway 64. Eventually, we reconnected to I-40, and it wasn't long before we began to see snow-capped mountains. Shortly after that, it began to rain. Then...
It's snowing, y'all! Our puppers haven't seen snow. Hi, Speed, how you doing?
Yeah.
Tell me about the weather.
Weather outside is nice. It's beautiful.
How your legs feeling?
It's white. It's snowing.
It's snowing.
When we turned off I-40 to head to the Grand Canyon, visibility got a bit worse and the snow was blowing across the road. 20 miles to the canyon and the snow began to accumulate on the windshield. The thought of spending the night on the side of the road was beginning to be discussed. Just a few minutes later, the weather cleared and we made it to the park entrance. Welcome to the Grand Canyon. Dory and Jasmine's first experience with snow. And look who's back, everybody.
It's the Eskimo.
The Danette's back. Yay!
I don't understand. What is this? What kind of witchcraft are you trying to pull?
Jasmine's like, this is cold. This is like really cold. My feet don't like this.
What is that, boo-boo?
I knew it snowed at the Grand Canyon. I just didn't know it would be in spring. Have you ever experienced snow at the Grand Canyon before? How was the weather when you were here? Leave a comment below and tell us about it. Oh, and while you're at it, give us a thumbs up if you liked the video and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. The next morning we got up to head out to check out the Grand Canyon. One of the best amenities in the park is the bus system. We didn't have to unhook our car just to get around. The Danette's is freezing. It's cold. We're keeping our masks on. You have to wear them on the bus. But here's our first view of the Grand Canyon. Visibility wasn't the greatest, but our first impression was wow. Everyone that has seen the Grand Canyon always tells us there are no pictures or video that one could ever see that will properly portray the view before us. It truly is breathtaking. So coming to the Grand Canyon is definitely different than what I anticipated. Definitely different than what Danette anticipated. We kind of thought it was going to be a desert. Nobody told us that there's a forest here on the edge. It's cool, but it was a little unexpected. So is the snow. But it's nice to see snow again. So, I'm not going to complain. We're just going to walk a little bit down towards the edge here and look at
More of the canyon. Just me and my Danette Eskimo. Cold? Huh. Can't imagine why.
As we walked along the rim trail, we were able to find an area with better visibility, making us once again at a loss for words. Our initial plan while visiting the Grand Canyon was to hike down it for a couple of hours, eat a carb-loading picnic, and head back up. The Bright Angel Trail appeared to be just perfect for our skill level. But with the amount of snow and ice along the trail, crampons were highly recommended. Now, crampons are something that we don't have. Guess we'll have to come back another time after all the snow is gone so we can see just how far down we can get on that 4,000-foot descent. Now that we were good and frozen, we decided a good old pot of chili would be great for dinner. We took the bus to the general store to pick up our provisions. Our campsite wasn't far, so we decided to walk back. And we were glad we did. We came across a few elk grazing in the forest. When we got back to the RV, aka Big Blue, we took Dory out for a quick walk. The elk caught up to us, and Dory just stood there, frozen in her tracks, watching these beautiful, massive creatures walk across the road. With more snow clouds on the horizon, it was time to get indoors and get that chili going. A few minutes after we got in Big Blue, the snow began to fall.
So this is what we woke up to this morning. A winter wonderland. It's really pretty, but it's really, really cold. Blue, her first snowstorm.
Since the weather was not going to become the beautiful spring-like weather we had hoped for, we took the 6-hour window between snowstorms to pack up and head out. But we couldn't leave without looking down into the canyon one more time. Big Blue did just fine in the snow. We can't say much for Little Blue. I guess you could call her a Priagaloo.
Where are you going, Danette?
See the canyon rim.
Going to the canyon rim. We're over at the visitor center, so it's a little different area. We haven't been over on this side. Going to get a different perspective of the canyon before we head out. It's getting deeper and deeper.
Although we were extremely cold, the snow did add a postcard quality appearance to the canyon rim. From this vantage point, we were able to catch a glimpse of the mighty Colorado River. Just seeing that little sliver of the Colorado River reminded me of our family friend, Ed Gooch. A middle school math teacher named George Wendt dreamt of rafting down the Colorado River. In the summer of 1967, George got his chance. He headed out with a small group of guys. Included with this group was Ed Gooch. Ed was a teacher as well, but had a passion as well as the experience as a river runner. They named themselves the Gooch Wendt Group. Ed was already well known as the guy to take you down the Colorado River. Combining forces together, by 1969, the Gooch Wendt private trips turned into professional trips. The duo became known as the Gooch Went Expeditions and began running outfitted trips on over half a dozen rivers in the United States. With a quickly established reputation, the company was selected as the first exclusively oar-powered rafting operations in the Grand Canyon National Park. They renamed their operation OARS, an acronym for Outdoor Adventure River Specialists. It is because of this duo we can all partake in whitewater rafting down the Colorado River. Thanks, Ed, for telling Nick and I your stories. This is Ed Gooch with his wife Helen. Everlasting be his memory. A quick note, respect the Grand Canyon. I don't know what motivated these two, but please hike on marked trails. The potential destruction of wildlife as well as putting your own life in jeopardy just isn't worth it. Not getting the chance to hike down into the canyon leaves Danette and I with some unfinished business at the Grand Canyon. We hope to be back next year, ready to hike the canyon, but for now, it's time to hit the road.